Hello and welcome, Speed Gaming Live. My name is Hebbings, and tonight I am joined by Mortal Mago. Mago, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing great. So tonight we are watching the second match of our semifinals here, our first round between Chanigan and farfelu. I'm excited for this match. Both of these runners have incredibly high skill sets they're bringing to the table here. Mortal, would you like to go ahead and cover the seed settings for those who are just joining us for the first time for the tournament?
Yeah, so all of the main key items that you would be looking for are going to be randomized between battlefields, the normal spots you would get them, and the NPCs that sell them. Except for a couple that where the chest would be, it's now behind the boss in that dungeon.
Correct. So one of the major changes that has been made by Wild Ham here is also helping out on tracking. So everybody go ahead and give Ham a round of applause in chat. Has made it to where all the mini boss dungeons are required kills for mini boss to get their loot. No longer will you be able to rush in the giant tree and check meteor chest. You won't be able to go and get the bomb chest before you fight the crab, or get the gas mask chest before fighting Medusa. All the mini boss dungeons have been restructured in a way to either put the chest underneath the boss or to gate that progression, so that way those bosses are all required for our runners. Another major change, as you might see as our runners get prepared here, is Ben's been juiced up. He's running at twice the speed he would normally run from vanilla, which has been quite the hurdle to overcome. Mago, how many seeds have you gotten in since you joined the community?
About 3 or 4, and I keep falling into the abyss every time I go, and not used to the double speed.
Yeah, it feels great until you get on those thin ledges and you're one misinput away from falling down. So go mode for our runners tonight is going to be any sword, Dragon Claw, Mega Grenades, Thunder Rock, Captain's Cap, the Mobius Crest, the Sun Coin, and the Sky Coin. And the Sun Coin, which grants access to Windia, can be subbed out for the multi-key if our runners do get access to the Mobius Crest. And it looks like our runners are getting ready to go ahead and get started here. I'll be excited to see what they start off with. As normal, chat, just like in vanilla, both of our runners will be starting with steel armor. That is default for Ben. So that's why that is highlighted. The anticipation is killing me. This is going to be an exciting match. And this is just round one, folks. So whoever wins this tonight, they'll have to beat 2 rounds. This is best of 3 to proceed on to the finals. And here we go. Ooh, steel sword to start. That's one of our go mode items already out of the way. That's one less thing our runners will have to worry about. River coin from the old man. So we might see them sprint off to Fireberg, but there's still a couple checks here in Foresta. I will say I like the sword start. It means I don't have to worry about hunting down a sword. Jumbo bombs from the cure chest. That means Bone Temple is going to be knocked out here soon. And our runners basically in sync with each other here.
I much prefer getting bombs early. I'm sure they agree.
Yeah, being able to knock out Bone Dungeon is a bit of a relief for our runners in terms of being able to not have to, check out Bone Dungeon and be like, okay, well, I don't have bombs and I leave, and then accidentally forgetting to go back. That's happened to quite a few people. And these bombs are going to make both of our runners opting for the battlefield, since they have bombs guaranteeing not only AoE damage, but since they have jumbo bombs, pretty much guaranteeing kills on all these mobs here. Interesting strategy from farfelu, since he has bombs, opting to put Tristram on defense on Ben, so that way he doesn't get one animation for a turn, which will save a couple frames, but it'll also mean that Ben does not get poisoned. So when he's traded off for the next partner, we won't have to worry about that at all.
Also nice because a couple of those enemies, if they hit Ben, can deal like 30-40 damage at this point.
Indeed, Ben is probably the biggest liability for the majority of this run for the tournament. He's always under-leveled from his partners, and he always has a low HP pool. He's not very fast. He does have a couple good pieces of equipment that'll make him a contender later. One of those first pieces of equipment being the Moon Helmet there. That'll give him fire resistance, so he'll be able to stand toe-to-toe with Ruben when the time comes to go check Fireberg. Excalibur from the Steel Shield chest here. That's going to be good damage. Not consistent. You can still miss, but it'll also give our runners a speed increase. And the Giant's Axe from Tristram here. Annoying enemy placement here. But nothing mandatory yet. In chat, we might have an on-rail seed. And to cover something else real quick, those of you familiar with vanilla might notice that our runners are leveling up just a little bit faster than they would normally. For the tournament here in the randomizer settings, we do have everybody set to a, I believe, 3 times EXP gain. Or 2.5, I can't remember. Steel Shield from the Quake chest, a bit of a French vanilla Steel Shield there. And both of our runners on to Rex. And this gives me a good chance to go ahead and talk about one of the other stat settings that have been shuffled for the randomizer here. So as well as EXP gain being manipulated, all the enemies in the randomizer have their stats shuffled. So all of our enemies are set to 75% of what their base value is from vanilla, with a 50% spread. So some of the enemies that we'll run into tonight will be 25% as weak as they normally are in vanilla, or jacked up to 125% of what they normally are. Farfelu finishing out Flamosaurus Rex with just a little bit better luck here. Chanigan running into some technical difficulties with status effects. Should be wrapping this up rather soon though. Venus Shield from the first chest here, and Sun Coin. So our runners now have a choice. They can go to Windia or they can go to Fireberg here. Couple things on the table. I'll be interested to see how they play this. What do you think, Farfelu? Are they going to go check some of the quicker checks in Windia first, or are they going to make a beeline for Fireberg after they check the Sun Coin chest?
I think I'd go Windia and just get the fast ones out of the way.
So Live Forest, Sun Coin check the vendor.
Even though you won't have the money to buy from the vendor, and it's easier to get that if you go to Fireberg first. True.
Yeah, I think both of our runners here might just go ahead and check the Sun Coin chest and then peace out and go straight to Fireberg here. Looks like Farfelu is about to check his check first here. Mobius Crest, that's a nice find. That's another go mode item here. Chanigan opting to skip the Sun Coin chest for now. Oh, remembering he got it. Doubling back. And Farfelu opting to take Tristram into the battleground to make his first item check. Meanwhile, Chanigan dipping into the Alive Forest, maybe hoping to get an advantage from this chest here in terms of spell or equipment. So already seeing a bit of divergence from runners here. Charm Necklace for his troubles there. Not great, but it will get him immunity from Mute at least.
Chanigan gonna continue on with his Windia check.
And I think I saw a black magic spell pop up. Looked like fire, but I could be wrong. Chanigan checking that vendor now. Sky coin from the Windia vendor. No cash on hand currently. However, with the Mobius crest, he can go in and check the Hermit from the back end here. Meanwhile, Farfelu in Fireberg about to pick up Ruben and check Tristram. Aegis Shield from the Hermit here. That's going to give him not only paralysis resistance at the field, that the Venus Shield will give him, but also immunity to petrification. That could give him an edge here in some of these Fireberg checks. Gaia armor from Tristram. We are armor stacked this seed.
Farfelu gonna go into the volcano here and grab the vanilla white check here.
Ooh, enemy hiding in the cave. That's a little dirty. Yeah, another thing that's been... Go ahead.
Nat Chanigan coming back to his Fireberg. Also gonna take Tristram into the battlefield.
Yeah, maybe feeling a little extra confident with that Aegis Shield and Excalibur in hand. Thunder Rock from Volcano. Interesting. So the only thing we don't know, what are we missing whereabouts-wise? We still don't have any claws. We need Mega Grenades. And we need Captain's Cap.
And Sky Coin still.
Mm-hmm. And we know what, thankfully, Chanigan knows where that is now. Farfelu dipping out, going back to Windia, it looks like. So basically our runners are flip-flopping here. Not checking the Alive Forest. Looks like he's taking the back route into the Hermit to get that check out of the way. Also going to go ahead and check in with the vendor lady. I think he has the cash? No cash. No shopping money yet. Speaking of shopping money, Chanigan's about to pick up 1200 GP from this 2 battleground here. And Farfelu has his Aegis Shield now. I think maybe our runners were banking on some vanilla Mega Grenades here. Farfelu gonna go ahead and while he's here, build him a Rainbow Road. Won't be able to bomb Spencer's place yet, but at least he'll have it unlocked for when he comes back. Chanigan now with some spending money. He knows he already needs to hold on to 900 GP. Blizzard from the vendor, that's going to free up 500 GP for seeds right now. Meanwhile, Farfelu on his way to go pick up his charm necklace for his troubles and going into the forest. Chanigan taking South Mines here. Ooh. Nasty formation. It's rather innocuous, but that double confusion there can cause some damage. Thankfully, Ruben does not decide to beat Ben over the head with a Morningstar attack, instead hitting himself. Rather impressive. Meanwhile, Farfelu pre-saving before going into forest, instead opting to just not take the charm at all, trying to save some time on the trek back.
That's quite a bit of a trek back for not a lot of gain from that accessory.
Indeed. Farfelu now going to go ahead and take on his South Mine. So our runners are basically back in sync now. The only distinction between the two of them is that Farfelu has made the check for Thunder Rock and Volcano. Looks like Chanigan instead is going to go and attempt to rescue Ruben's dad, maybe banking on Ruben holding on to Mega Grenades again to save his old man.
I think we have to get some kind of progression from this battlefield, though.
It could be either here, Mines, or from Medusa. If not, they could be both gated into Wyvern. I have seen it to where the game has railroaded you into Wyvern with no other options to go anywhere else. It's rather nasty when it happens, but it is doable. Ooh. Ben deciding to bomb the party instead of the enemy, though. Although Ruben coming to his senses, and Ben not having the firepower to clean up these red caps. Rather tanky tonight, and this is what I'm talking about, chat, with these 125% enemies. Gemini Crest for his troubles, though. That gates him into Aquaria. Looks like he is dipping into Volcano now. Instead, opting to go to Volcano, make that white chest. Farfelu heading back to Fireberg. Maybe going to check the vendor here and then check the vendor in Aquaria. Looks like he's already checked the vendor in Fireberg. Let's see what the lady in Aquaria is selling. Exit. That is a huge find for Farfelu there. Not only is that going to grant him some speed access to some of these other areas, but that's also going to halve his time for all these dungeon checks moving forward. Meanwhile, Chanigan traveling up the mountain, deciding to take Reuben 1 to fight Medusa. I guess with the paralysis immunity and the stone immunity granted from the Aegis Shield, he's feeling a little comfortable here, not getting Reuben 2, instead taking Reuben 1. Meanwhile, Farfelu getting some more shopping money from these fish fights.
I don't think he actually took the Fireberg check, so this is his only money check so far.
Indeed, this will grant him 600 GP, which should be more than enough to buy a good amount of seeds and the sky coin from the Windia vendor, as well as the Aquaria vendor. Yeah, this gives him just enough cash to purchase all of his vendor items.
Farfelu gonna do the false basin check while he's here with Reuben.
Yep, taking that morning star to the crab. Technically axe element for some reason. I guess a little bit of lazy design from our developers here, but hey. When you make axe an element, you gotta put it on something besides axes, right?
Should be a very quick crab fight on his side.
Indeed. Oh, meanwhile, Medusa giving Chanigan some trouble here. Feeling a little confident since he does not have... Oof. Good call from Chanigan's part. That would have been a wipe. Playing it safe, picking up Ben. Ben, while with all those resistances, does not have health for anything.
Farfelu gonna get his Dragon Claw. Progression is behind the crab.
Indeed, so that is another piece of go mode for Farfelu. Now only missing the Captain's Cap, Mega Grenades, and we know the Sky Coin is behind our vendor in Windia. Good crit from Chanigan there, and Medusa is down, and she's giving out the Sand Coin.
Meanwhile, Elixir from the Magic Mirror check in Ice Pyramid.
Yeah, but it looks like Farfelu is now opting to dip instead of doing all of Ice Pyramid. Looks like he's about to clear out some battlefields before picking up Phoebe, if he does opt to pick up Phoebe at all. With a claw weapon in hand now, Wintry Cave is completable, as well as Ice Pyramid, mines. A lot of things are opening up now.
Farfelu gonna grab Phoebe and probably go into Wintry Cave, I would guess here.
Meanwhile, Chanigan doing some seed shopping. Checking the tower, check for the Aquaria chest. Let's see what's in there. Venus Key. Could break a little bit of logic here if Farfelu decides to go back to the Sealed Temple in Fireberg and then warp out after taking the Gemini Crest. Meanwhile, Chanigan trying to stab the vendor. She is a shifty one, getting his exit. Opting to walk out after buying exit. Maybe hoping to save some charges.
I believe that was Flare from the battlefield south of Aquaria there for Farfelu.
Ooh, that is a nice pickup. That means our runners have some guaranteed damage against the final boss now. Noble armor from Phoebe, a little redundant since our runners both have Gaia armor. Chanigan now going to go pick up his flare. Gonna go ahead and utilize Phoebe's Thunder spell here, though, to clear out these mobs. Farfelu getting an annoying configuration with the monsters here. We'll have to take 2 fights before making calamari out of the squid here. Meanwhile, Chanigan sprinting off for Wintry Cave as well, opting to save the crab for later. Having to double back here may cost him a little bit of time, but with exit in his pocket, he could say it should be negligible.
Chanigan opting to not finish Winter in Cave because he doesn't have a claw yet. Yeah.
Yep, so unable to scale down that wall. Meanwhile, going through with the 2-block setup here in Falls Basin. Gonna go ahead and fight him a crab. Let's see what the squid has to offer us. Magic ring. So, a upgrade for the charm necklace. Not the Cupid locket though. Nice middle ground item.
We're gonna go back to Firebird now.
Yeah, maybe opting to break progression here. Or just go straight for mines. Tough to tell. Looks like he's going to do some seed chopping first, making sure he keeps on the 400 GP or roughly thereabouts so he can afford the Sky Coin when he gets back to Windia here, picking up Ruben.
We hope
Chanigan picking
the Mega Nades in the mine here.
Hopefully. If not, it could be gated behind the Wyvern. Not something you want to see, but... Meanwhile, Chanigan going into Ice Pyramid. Be interested to see if he does a full dive in here. Chanigan picking up his elixir now. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and full dive Mirrorless Pyramid here. Going to be seeing a lot of that run. Yeah. Going to see a lot of that run come in from Chanigan. This will be a war of attrition since he can't see any encounters, so he may lose a little bit of time making these blind checks. Meanwhile, farfelu getting an annoying Jin fight here. And I can't miss the opportunity to switch to boss battle music whenever I can. It is one of the better tracks in the game, although the entire game is filled with bangers. Ruben napping through these flames, man. I think he's been put to sleep just about every other round. And again, Ruben taking more naps. Leaving farfelu to solo the Jin. Thankfully, both of our runners have fire resistance in the form of Moonhelm, and the Jin not hitting particularly strong at all, posing little problem for our runners. And a nice 666 to finish off the fight here. Let's see what Ruben's handing out. Magic Mirror. Oh, the irony.
A little bit of a time save for farfelu when he goes crazy with Ice Pyramid.
Indeed. Although I will be interested to see if he does dip back to the pyramid or if he goes straight for Windia. Libra Crest for farfelu. That is going to incentivize him to dip back into Aquaria. Let's see if he... Yep, we're going to see the backwards route. So we'll see if he dips in with Venus Key into North Focus Tower and takes the Libra battlefield while he's here. It looks like he is dipping in, breaking the logic a little bit, but with these settings, sometimes that doesn't matter. Heal from the Venus Key chest, not a great spell. And Catclaw for his troubles. Chanigan making some good progress in Ice Pyramid. I'll be interested to see what's on the bottom floor. Yeah, cure from the Libra Temple battlefield, so nothing great from our logic break checks, and the old man handing out an axe. Meanwhile, Chanigan picks up his Tree Wither. Kaylee 2 could be the key to our runners making endgame progression. I believe Excalibur was in the Cure chest at the beginning of the game. Is that right, Mago?
Excalibur was the Steel Shield chest in Bone Dungeon.
Thank you very much. So yeah, Bone Dungeon, very first red chest you check after bombing that little pile of bones. Chanigan on his way to fight the golem here, and it looks like Farfelu's hand's being forced a little bit here. He does technically have everything he needs to go check P Tower and Mount Gale, but instead opting to deep dive here into Ice Pyramid in case Go Mode is hiding in here. Chanigan making short work of that golem. You blink and you miss it, especially when Ben's holding on the flare. Farfelu gonna be going through this a little bit quicker than Chanigan though, since he does have that magic mirror. Gonna be able to skip some of these fights that Chanigan accidentally bumped into. Arrow from the golem chest, one of the best black magic spell, I think. And Charm Claw from the chest, so no go mode here. However, that Wither Tree could chain into a go mode item.
And the Wither Tree and the Elixir we already have. That's 2 checks from Kaylee.
Mm-hmm. Wonder if Chanigan's going to finish out Fireberg or opt to go ahead and dip into Kaylee, which will lead him to Windia. Let's see. And yes, chat, you can open those doors from the backside. Looks like Chanigan's gonna run and go ahead and get Kaylee out of the way. I cannot speak today. Farfelu taking the reverse order of checks here, opting to fall on the platform and check the, was it Noble Armor chest in vanilla?
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah, opting to check the Noble Armor first before proceeding deeper into the dungeon. Being able to take an instant exit from the golem. I've never timed it to see which way is faster with exit.
Not either.
I'll be interested to see. I think it's about 6 one way, half dozen the other. Chanigan flaring the Minotaur for the memes here. That zombie is extra well done, way overkill, but it is satisfying in a way. Getting Thunder from Kaylee 1. And he's now going to go pick up the captain's daughter and probably drop her off in Windia. May pick up a sky coin while he's there. If Kaylee has mega grenades, that is going to be a good bit of progression for our runners, although the captain's cap is still being elusive tonight. Unfortunately, with the coding, captain's cap can be just about anywhere all the way up to max ship. The only chest it cannot be in is in the basement of Doom Tower. Farfelu making his way to the golem fight, and you know I gotta listen to this boss music again. And there's your soundbite, chat. Ooh, Kaylee handing out Wake Water, but as we've already seen from Farfelu's side, no real progression hiding behind that item. I'll be interested to see if Chanigan opts to thaw out the Winter Wonderland and make the same checks that Farfelu made, or we'll just go ahead and skip them all together and head into Mount Gale or P Tower here. He does have Phoebe 2 on hand, so that is very possible. Chanigan purchasing his Sky Coin now. Looks like he's going to go ahead and head back to Fireberg, finish out Lava Dome, maybe.
He hadn't checked the vent. Going back to
Aquaria.
He hadn't turned in Wake Water yet, so.
Yeah, looks like he's opting for the Wake Water check instead of just going ahead and quote-unquote breaking logic by teleporting from Seal Temple. Meanwhile, Farfelu now on his way to kill that zombie Minotaur and save Kaylee. Ooh, interesting play from Chanigan here. Now that he's been able to thaw out Aquaria, he's able to make a check that Farfelu wasn't, which is Spencer's Cave. If Spencer's holding on to mega grenades, this could be quite the troll from the old man. And with exit, this annoying walk will only be half as much as you normally have to make.
Not too bad for a double check either with the
DMC. Meteor from the chest and gas mask from Spencer. Not great, but at least Chanigan is now covered on magic for the tower. Gonna go ahead and clear out these battlefields now. Basically, our runners are still in flip-flop mode. I think we're gonna see the cap either from, let's see, Lava Dome or Aquaria. I mean, not Aquaria, Windia. I think both of our runners here gonna probably making the logical decision to fade Lava Dome until they have Mega Grenades. But if Wyvern is holding on to Mega Grenades, that could make that play unfortunate. Looks like both of our runners are making their way back to Windia. Chanigan taking the teleportation network. Meanwhile, farfelu huffing it on foot.
Farfelu gonna buy his sky coin.
And Chanigan picking up Ruben, opting to go ahead and... Has he done mines yet? I don't think so.
It's not.
Yep, so gonna go ahead and check mines now. farfelu, meanwhile, checking Kaylee too, getting his wake water now. And now tipping into Pazuzu's tower. This could be Mega Grenade location for our runners here. Although we still have not seen a lot of our base layer weapons. I think we've only seen the axe and the sword and the cat claw. We have not seen base layer bombs. I don't think we've seen battle axe. I don't think we've seen steel helm either. SpeedGaming 2, thank you for the raid with 24 people. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are in the semifinals now for the Mystic Quest Randomizer race. Chanigan making short work of this Jin with the meteor magic he's got on hand.
Going a lot smoother than the sleep fest that farfelu was going through.
Indeed, no naps for Ruben today. He is on point and swinging that Morning Star, and he is down. Chanigan now getting his magic mirror and going to go check the north of Mine's chest before exiting out. And I believe that's where we found, not flare, what did we get from this chat?
I believe that was the Libra crest.
Thank you. Meanwhile, farfelu onto the checks now, preemptively going to hit this switch to just in case he needs to fight Pazuzu for those Mega Grenades or Captain's Cap. No bird on floor 6. I'll have to check with Ham after this, but I think in vanilla you can rig it to where Pazuzu's always on floor 6. But in the randomizer, that's not the case. Captain's Cap in P Tower, so this is another piece of go mode for farfelu. All he needs now is Mega Grenades, and he can make his way to the final dungeon. Meanwhile, Chanigan gonna go finish Winter Cave. And Mega Grenades for farfelu, that is go mode.
Pazuzu's tower hiding all the relevant checks.
RPG Chick confirming something for me that apparently there's a ROM hack to rig floor 6 for the Big Bird. However, otherwise it is RNG. farfelu getting life from Spencer's Cave there. So I think he is all kitted out for a pretty safe Doom Tower here. With all the white magic spells out of his behest and Meteor and Flare, I don't think there's any damage type he doesn't have accounted for. Also having Arrow as a nice backup for 2 of the bosses here at the end of the game would be nice.
Locket's the only thing trying to check for him as well.
Yeah, max ship. Let's see. The only checks left are Mount Gale, Ghidra, max ship, and base Dune Tower. I'll be interested to see if farfelu decides to check the Gaia armor chest or the Aegis Shield check. Yeah, chat, I love the sprite work in this game. It is very charming and a little bit hilarious.
Not too bad of a max ship there, only the one forced to down.
Cupid bucket. Very nice. So yeah, farfelu is all kitted out in terms of spell and armor. Apollo helmet will be a nice little boost to defense and evasion. However, it's not completely necessary, not a huge jump. Really, all they need for this final fight is fire resistance, which the Moon Helm already provides. Meanwhile, it looks like Chanigan's dipping into Windia now. Maybe looking to check P-Tower or Mountain Gale.
Looks like farfelu's not going to do that Doom cast of Trust and just go towards end.
Yeah, with everything in his possession that he needs to make the run to the end. At this point, that check would be a little bit of a waste of time. I think the only... I think the only item available for him would be maybe a multi-key hiding in that chest, or what else? Maybe Apollo helmet. Chanigan opting to just say no to Mount Gale, dipping out and instead going to grab Phoebe, remembering he has Ruben in his party. Yeah, chat, enjoying some of this trekking here, and just sitting down and chilling to the soundtrack for a minute. Meanwhile, Chanigan starting up his fight against Dullahan. I'll be interested to see what the Headless Horseman and this Headless Horse have to hide. Extra chunky Dullahan, though, taking, what was that, 4 wizard spells and still in phase 1?
On farfelu's side, we're going to see a giant disappear.
Indeed, blink and you miss it, chat. We're going to see him vanish behind a painted glass. And Golem now down. Chanigan still dealing with the Dullahan fight at level 13. It's a bit of a triage fest right now. Ben not being able to live through a lot of those high damaging attacks. Thankfully, Phoebe's got plenty of resistances. I think she's got resistance to every status ailment that Dullahan can throw out besides instant death. And Dullahan was hiding the steel helmet. You hate to see the tin can.
Chanigan now going to head towards his progression, though.
Yep. Should be a quick exit out as soon as he gets his Captain's Cap and Mega Grenades. Meanwhile, farfelu making his fight with the Wyvern. This fight, while not particularly challenging to any of the runners in the tournament, can be a bit of an HP sponge. Chanigan getting a little luckier with his encounter formations than farfelu was. Gonna be able to make up precious seconds, and this isn't over until the Dark King is dead, chat. Without kitted out our runners are, this could still be a comfortable fight. However, if we get a fast king and some bad luck, this could be a war of attrition for our runners here tonight.
Debating whether or not to hit the switch.
Opting to play it safe and gonna go hit the switch anyways. farfelu now halfway through the wind dungeon floor though. Getting some extra chunky puppers on this seed. Cerberus is being one of the worst enemies to roll fat on, just because of how many annoying status effects they have. They have confusion, petrification, instant death, just everything you don't want to see. Chanigan getting his go mode now making a beeline for the end here. farfelu now starting up Zub with a comfortable lead though. Alright chat, get ready for your stupid sexy bird poses. Let's see if we see any side shields or laying down birds. And it doesn't look like we're going to see the form tonight, chat. Maybe. Let's see. A little bit of triage here from farfelu. And there's the pose. And gone he goes. Yep. I believe we've had a pretty shy bird most of this tournament. farfelu now making his way onto the Dark King. Chanigan opting not to check Mac's chest. Missing that Cupid locket could give him a little bit of trouble here for Dark King. Meanwhile, farfelu getting ready to start the final fight. Level 18 is going to be a pretty comfortable zone, not being able to live through Spider Kids or Laser though. The rest of the attack should be just fine, especially since farfelu has a fully kitted out set of armor, although Phoebe is still vulnerable to petrification and confusion.
Tanky first phase here. 5 wizard spells.
Indeed, but all of these phases roll independent values, so while phase 1 could be tanky, this could be a paper king the rest of the way, or he could be hefty all the way through. Chanigan making his way onto his second boss fight now. Dark King throwing out that nasty cure bow. Hate to see that spell. He gains 1000 HP while dealing out a good chunk of damage to the party here. Good read on Farfelu's part, preemptively popping a life on Phoebe in case she went down. And I think we might have rolled a 125 king here. So while this will be no walk in the park, Farfelu is fully kitted out and able to handle this. It's just going to be a matter of making sure he's got the right turn order and making sure he plays it safe in terms of execution here. Gold Web being one of King's faster attacks here. Phoebe's still outspeeding that, so I think Farfelu's got a solid block on turn order with Phoebe, King, then Ben. I don't expect any surprise first attacks from King with that showing, especially with Flare and Web not going out first. It's a pretty predictable turn order here, able to plan around this. Farfelu getting lucky with some of the status element webs hitting Ben instead of Phoebe. And there are those nice, nasty spider kids. Ben being about 60 HP short of living through that. 61.
Ben just missed his exit.
That can happen. It is a nasty piece of RNG that can occur occasionally. Chanigan now picking him up on the second time, though, thankfully. And there's the other fatal spell. Ooh, Farfelu taking a wipe here. Having to reset through a rather thick Phase 1 and Phase 2. Giving Chanigan another bump to catch up here. Indeed. Wyvern not being particularly hefty, although decent HP, and there being quite a few encounters before Zuh. I'll be interested to see if he manages to make it to King before Farfelu finishes him off. Just realizing something on Chanigan's side, it looks like the palette he rolled is OG Final Fantasy 1 Thief palette for Ben. I'll have to pick Ham's brain later, because I think I've seen an OG Fighter palette as well. I'm wondering if he snuck some of those in from the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer community as a possibility when you shuffle Ben's palette here. Or if that's something that Chanigan implemented himself. Indeed. Looks like he's taking an extra fight for some levels here. Nope. Accidental input. It's okay. Chanigan getting a little short on seeds here. Shouldn't have just enough to get through these fights, though. Probably will be picking up that chest of 25 before taking on King, though. Again, King using that nasty bow to heal himself, prolonging this fight even longer. However, whether he gets healed or damaged, any number calculations against King will work his way towards progressing to the next phase. Ooh, lightning sword. I hate that move. Party being a little low. Let's see if he opts to top off with Phoebe before continuing the assault on Dark King here. Looks like he's playing it safe with that double cure. Phoebe able to basically bring the party up to full health with a double cure, unless Ben is up in like the mid to high 20s. So while Phoebe is a great damage dealer, she also makes a great triage partner. And again, farfelu getting lucky with some of these spider webs here, those hitting Ben instead of Phoebe. Ooh, Chanigan taking a Doom Dance from Zuh. Looks like he wanted to retaliate with an exit. Unfortunately, Zuh is immune to the exit spell. And those nasty spider kids coming out again to torment Ben. Thankfully, Phoebe does have speed advantage over Dark King, so even if he does pop a gold web, farfelu will have a chance to pick up Ben before he goes down. It looks like we'll see the stupid sexy bird one more time, chat, before you get to say goodbye to him. Ooh, Chanigan not finishing off before Side Shield, so we'll see him stick around for a little bit here. Get your easels ready. Ooh, Phoebe taking a Petrify there while Ben's taking it on the offensive. Hopefully he does not get Spider Kids or Laser here. Able to outspeed the King by equipping Excalibur before eating a laser. Smart thing on farfelu's part. If he hadn't swapped, he might have been reset again. Dark King throwing out those lasers now willy-nilly. Meanwhile, Chanigan making his way up to the King himself. If farfelu wipes again, we are going to have a very tight race on our hands, chat. Also, I cannot be held accountable for the commentator's curse. This all happened 15 minutes ago. Chanigan opting to take those C's for safety's sake. That will help him out in the long run, since this is a war of attrition. Meanwhile, farfelu entering phase 4.
See if it's as tanky as the other three.
Not relenting in phase 4, though, deciding to beat Ben down with every fiber of his being. Throwing out those spider kids willy-nilly. Farfelu stuck in an attrition loop here. Ooh. Good save on farfelu's part. If that was a laser or a spider kid, that would have been a wipe.
Couple close calls so far this fight.
Indeed. This Dark King is rolling rather nasty. It's a good thing our runners had taken a little extra time to get gear up. If this was a Jet Seed with this Dark King, we might have seen a lot more wipes from our runners. Maybe even someone doubling back to get more equipment. No crits from the King tonight, though, chat. Relatively friendly in that aspect, and that is time for farfelu. GG's. To answer chat's question really quick, I think the typical average level that most of us try to make it to King in the randomizer 16 gives you a nice sweet spot to be able to live through Mega Wipe, but not the other spells. And checking the official racetime.gg site here. farfelu clocking in with a 50.05. Meanwhile, Chanigan making his way through the fight, but it looks like he will go ahead and DNF. Let's go ahead and get both of our runners in here for an interview. Gonna go ahead and bring Chanigan's music back here, though. Alrighty, we are joined by Chanigan and farfelu. GG's, both of you.
Hello, GG's.
Quite an interesting back and forth seed for you gentlemen tonight.
Like, I made some strange decisions. during that seed.
You don't say.
Me, I think the play that I don't like that I made is going to Mount Gale. No, not. Whoa. I was thinking about something. I'm not sure now.
Gale before P Tower.
Yeah, something like that. But I was in the right after Dragon Claw. Yeah, just deciding to clear Aquaria and all that stuff. I didn't
Before
want to go
dipping into
there.
P Tower.
Yeah, I wanted to go to P Tower, and yeah, I just skipped everything.
Yeah, rather
That felt
conservative
bad.
choices. Rather conservative choices from both of you tonight. I did see that both of you opted to make some more safe checks with your party members before dumping into some of the windier locations once you got Dragon Claw. Farfelu, go ahead and go ahead and walk us through some of your thought progression while you're going through this seed.
Well, I was still go -2. I needed mega grenades and something else. Cap. Yeah, I cannot remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just didn't want to believe both items could be in Windia. So yeah, I played safe and cleared pretty much everything else before going back there. But at least I could skip. I don't know where was some coin. I guess Medusa or in Lavadome.
Yeah, it was Medusa, if I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah, I just opened the first check and left.
Yeah, both of you making a smart decision to fade Lava Dome with no mega grenades. Although if the Wyvern had held on to one of those go mode items, that would have been, we would still be here watching this run tonight, I think.
Yeah.
So
No,
both of you within minutes of each other. I think Chanigan, you had about a 4, maybe 5 minute Dark King fight, rolling extra thick tonight. Farfelu, how'd you feel about that fight?
Yeah, to be honest, I did not know how to feel about this game when I started the fight because, like I said, I just cleared Squid and Pyramid. I went back there before going to Pezuzu Tower, so I did not know what to think about that. But starting DK fight at 40 minutes is still good. So I did not know how to feel about that. But after taking that death, I was feeling pretty bad. And then the second fight took maybe 6 or 7 minutes. I got a lot of gold web and death. I was starting to be afraid Chanigan would finish first.
Yeah, no. Once you take a wipe on Dark King, and we're in the semifinals now, so runners of this caliber, you're worried that the boogeyman's coming up right behind you to just go ahead and steal that from right under your nose. Wanted to pick your guys' brain. With this being an extra thick Dark King, do you think if you would have taken on this fight under-geared or maybe at like level 16 or 14, would you have opted to basically take a safety save and dip out to go get more gear if you'd had this encounter at a lower level? And we'll start with you, Chanigan.
I don't think. I'm kind of notorious for just keeping smashing my head on Dark King. Like I've done a 25-30 minutes Dark King fight in the past, so
Flesh and blood be darned, that brick wall's going down eventually, mark my words. How about you, Farfelu?
Pretty much the same as Chanigan. I don't know if he had the locket because the tracker says no, but it was pretty free in the ship.
Yeah, he skipped ship check.
Yeah, as soon as I found life, I just skipped everything. I'm like, I have magic ring. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, even with the locket, I have the confuse resistance. I had all the gears, all the resistance you would want. Only the spiders and lightning spell can kill them one shot. So I would have tried Dark King over and over again as well with all those gears and life, of course.
Fair
but
enough.
without life, I could reset and go back, find more safeties.
Fair enough. Yeah, and both of you getting exit from that Aquaria vendor, making that a relatively safer play if you did have to dip out really quick instead of having to hoof it all the way out. But that's not what we saw tonight. We did see a rather convoluted seed in terms of back and forth trekking and progression. And we'll start with you, Farfelu. Is this one of the more intensive back and forth track seeds you've practiced, or is this about middle of the road for you?
I would say about the middle, the average. We've got some nasty qualification seeds. I think the average and the qualification were about 1 hour, but we've definitely seen some jet seed done under 35. So I think it was pretty average. Maybe I could have skipped the first dip in Windia because I knew I had Thunder Rock, but then I talked to the guy and I just realized, oh, I don't have Mega Grenades, so I can't do anything here. Let's go back.
Yeah, the Pazuzu was basically the make or break check for the rest of it. You guys basically in step and swapping back and forth with each other as you went through. I think the only difference between the two of you was Farfelu opted to basically skip logic for a quick second and use the Gemini Crest to dip over to Aquaria and get North Focus Tower and North Libra Temple battlefield before you, Chanigan. But I mean, you were able to check Spencer's cave beforehand. If the old man had been hoarding those mega grenades, this would have been a different story tonight.
Yeah,
that has happened before. So moving on to final thoughts for tonight. This is round 1, so no one's going home. Going into round 2, and I believe that's tomorrow night. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, tomorrow night at 8, I think.
Yep.
If I'm
So
not
tomorrow night, I want to go ahead and get your guys' thoughts for the race tomorrow. And we'll start with you, Farfelu. Anything that you're going to bring differently to the table in terms of your approach of routing, or you just kind of stay the course with how you've been doing? How you feeling after that first run?
Well, if my tournament has been well so far, so I don't think about changing anything. And it's randomizer, I never come or start a game with a plan. I just go with what I find and the feeling. I don't know. But no, I won't change anything.
Fair enough. How about you, Chanigan? Kind of sticking to your guns and making the same plays for the next race and hoping Rando's going to Rando?
Pretty much, yeah. I think I have a decent mind when it comes to that to Mystic West Rando. So I don't think changing anything will be useful at that point.
Fair enough. So at this point,
it's a rando, so
yeah, basically at this point, it's basically going to come down to luck and maybe a little bit of execution from the both of you. Alrighty. Well, I will say I'll toss it to Mago. Thank you again for being my co-commentator tonight, and Wild Ham, thank you for running the tracker. Great work on both of that for you. Mago, do you have any thoughts or questions for our runners before we go ahead and wrap up for the night?
Nope. You asked quite a bit of them. There was definitely one of the more back and forth seeds I think I've seen.
Fair enough. Well, huge shout outs, first and foremost, to Chanigan for getting this all set up. Been a huge contributor to basically getting this all set up. So I do want to thank you again for getting this all run. Thank you to SpeedGaming Live for hosting us tonight. Chat, if you could, give our runners tonight a great big follow on Twitch. And my co-commentator here, Mortal Mago, feel free to give them a follow, as well as Wild Ham. Ignore me. I'm inconsequential. And thank you, chat, for participating tonight. This isn't the last time you'll see Mystic Quest Randomizer. We will have another round from Chanigan. We'll have another round tonight from the between the RPG Chick and Sir Lankalot at, I believe, 11:15 East Coast time. Let me check and see which channel that's going to be on real quick.
I think it's going to be on SpeedGaming 2.
That is correct. I
saw correctly, yep.
Yep, so they will be on SpeedGaming 2 at 11:15 tonight. I will be commentating that one as well. And again, thank you to everybody for getting this set up. We'll go ahead and end it here. Have a great night, everybody. If you can't stick around, we understand. And if you want to join us, hit up ffmqrando.net. You can start generating your own seeds and join the Discord there. Good night, everybody.